thank you everybody to have joined this session today. Welcome to everybody. Both Siobhan and I are really excited to be bringing everybody together in this service design community of practice. We're going to be spending the next 30 to 40 minutes going over what the practice is, what we've got planned, and we'll be providing you all with information as to how to participate as well. So first off, we're going to do just some introductions. Over to yourself, Siobhan.
Thank you. So welcome everybody. What an amazing turnout for this event. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. So I'm Siobhan Hobbs. I'm a senior consultant, ITSM practice lead at Illuminate Group. And I've spent 25 years in the tech industry. And I've been in various roles, starting in computer engineering and moving through various operations, service delivery, account management, and obviously service design, which is where my passion has stayed ever since. But yeah, it's lovely to meet you, and can't wait to speak to you at some point. Thank you, Katie.
Yep, so my name is Katie Edwards. I'm currently a senior service design manager at DWP. I've been at DWP since 2018, doing a mixture of service design and transition. I've worked in service management for over 17 years, specialising in service design and transition, implementing various ITIL processes in different organisations. I'm super passionate about process creation, implementation and iteration. And when I'm not doing that, my interests are in tooling, data and reporting, and using these to iterate process under continual improvement activities. In 2023, I began speaking to various organisations about their journeys in service design and transition. Service design and transition colleagues of mine presented at the ITSMF conference in November 2023. And from that point on, we've received a lot of interest in our journey at DWP. And that led me to start a service design and transition network to share insight and develop some best practices. In 2024, I continued to meet with organisations and strengthen that network. I did a lot of presentations about how we work at DWP and received similar from other organisations. What I found was I was getting contacted from several different organisations asking for things just from questions, templates, asking for some advice and some help. And that led me to where I am today, launching this community with Siobhan and ITSMF. Andrea, do you want to just introduce yourself as well, please?
Absolutely. Hi, everyone. Andrea Dell. I'm what it says on the tin, Member Engagement Manager for ITSMF, one of two. And I am providing the admin support to this great new community that Siobhan and Catherine have worked really, really hard to pull together. So if there are any admin questions or queries or how to join, I'll cover that all off in a later slide. But thank you.
Thank you.
So welcome to the service design community launch. So this is a fantastic opportunity that we wanted to open up to everybody and invite you into this community. Katie has given you some history on how she got to this point as well, but for myself, I also started this community last year, and it was through the ITSMF UK conference in November that I was talking to a number of people, new and people that I know who work in service design. And we decided to just come together and start a small community, really focusing on the strategic vision of service design. So we were particularly interested in, where is service design going in the industry? And, we often get pushed aside in IT organizations where people don't always want to talk to us. They don't like all our questions. They feel like we're just annoying them and delaying their work. And so when we was having these conversations, it was really about understanding, well, how do we get a seat at the table where we are welcomed and people recognise how important service design really is in their organisation, not just in IT, but in the organisation as a whole, because it's about how we deliver those services to the business and to our customers. And so we got together in January, and we was talking about this vision, how we wanted to bring innovation to this. We wanted to feed into the industry and, you know, and help people. And one of the attendees there, Simon McCarthy, he introduced me to Katie, and he said, you know, by the way, you know, whilst you're looking at all the strategic side of service design, Katie's actually established this community, and it's been going on now for like 12 months. Well, I mean, I'd never heard about it, and so I was really excited to meet Katie, because one of the things that I have found in my time working in service design is I've really struggled to find like service design communities who work in IT. And I was having this conversation with another group of people yesterday, and I don't know if Darren joined the session today, but he brought up a really, you know, good question around recruitment. So when we're trying to look for a service design role on LinkedIn or any other platform, it's really difficult to find a service design role in IT. So even that is a struggle. So having that definition of what is IT service design and getting a role in that place is really quite challenging. So Katie and I, we got together, we was talking about, you know, some of the things that we've been doing, and you know, and I explained to Katie, you know, I'm really interested in the strategic side of service design, where we're going with service design. And Katie said, well, I'm really interested in the operational side of service design. So we've joined forces, and we discussed it with ITSMF UK, and they were really supportive of the idea, and they said, you know, we would love to help you and Katie build out a community of practice and open this up to the world, you know. So it's amazing, and I'm just so glad you're all here today. So Katie and I will take you through some of the details on what we're going to do, what we've got planned, and it's super exciting, and I really hope that you can be part of this community, and we all support each other. Thank you, Katie.
Well said. Thank you, Siobhan. So yeah, the service design community of practice is going to be split into two distinctive work streams, as Siobhan has just mentioned there. So the first will be looking at the strategic vision of service design, and that'll be led by Siobhan. And the second work stream will be looking at the operational elements of service design, and I'll be leading on this one. So we're now just going to discuss all of those two different work streams in a little bit more detail.
So the strategic vision of service design. So the focus audience for this work stream that I'm really hoping can engage and work with me are people who are like directors, heads, or leaders, people who have real extensive in-depth experience working in the service design industry. So I'm looking for people who will contribute thought leadership to shape the future of service design. And through the community that I have initially been set up with, we've defined 3 key goals. So the first goal is we felt was appropriate was to define who and what service design actually is. What is the value it brings to operational teams, but also at a strategic level, a tactical level, how it serves our business and our customers. And the goal outcome that we have for this is to produce a white paper. So we've got a number of volunteers who have said that they would love to contribute to the white paper, and our goal is to have that published in time for this year's ITSMF conference in November. When we've achieved this and we've published our white paper, you know, and again, open to people who would love to author and review the white paper in time for the publishing. In the new year, we'll then look at the next two set of goals. So the goal 2 is around resource cost modelling. So it's thinking about the operational side of service design and resource cost modelling for best practice. So that's the next goal that we'll be focused on. And then when we've done that, so when you imagine that, you know, we've published our white paper, we've written down the foundations of service design at an operational, tactical, strategic level, we've then applied cost modelling over that. We then want to then have some discussions around how we can then contribute to service design best practice in the industry. So how we collaborate, innovate, and influence the future of service design. So those will be the focuses for next year.
Thank you. So next up, I'll just be going over the operational workstream for service design community of practice. The focus audience for me will be professionals that have an interest or are working directly in service design and wish to enhance their skills and knowledge. I've got 3 goals as well. The first one is to host quarterly virtual sessions focused on a key topic with guest speakers, knowledge sharing and collaborative discussions. Goal 2 is establishing a forum where members can ask questions, share ideas, links and templates and participate in conversations. And my third goal is to promote collaboration across organisations, building relationships and encouraging things like job shadowing, mentorship and networking. The overall outcome for me is to learn from one another, mature our service offerings and enrich collaboration within the service design practice. Okay, so here's a quick look at our events timeline. Starting off today, we've got a joint session, which is the Community of Practice launch. Then throughout the year, there'll be events that correspond to each of our different work streams. Siobhan will be running strategic meetings that will take place in April, October and January next year. And there'll be a separate set of meetups that Siobhan will be running for those who express interest in writing the white paper. Those sessions will be in June, August and September in preparation for releasing the white paper at the ITSMF conference in November. I'll be hosting 3 operational sessions throughout the year and they're scheduled for July, August and December. I'm going to hand over to Andrea now to talk to you more about the ITSMF UK website.
Hi there. Sorry, I was doing some admin in the background because somebody had mentioned that they couldn't see the slide, so I just wanted to check to make sure that everybody can. Right, so ITSMF. Most of you know who we are. For those who don't, who aren't members, ITSMF is the country's leading membership association for service management professionals. We are all about education, content and networking, and our members range from individual service management practitioners to large multinational organizations. ITSMF and our partners provide members with the knowledge, education, assets and capabilities required to improve both their service management activities and the business results business outcomes they result in. At the moment, our membership database is sitting at a smidge under 5,000 and over 200, closer to 220 organizations. I wanted to highlight a couple of our events. You can see from the image on the screen, we've got a packed calendar. But a couple that I wanted to mention to you was our conference, which is obviously our main event every year, with over 50 presentations from across the industry, and the Professional Service Management Awards. ITSM 25 will offer a plethora of great content discussions and networking opportunities. This year's conference takes place on the 10th and the 11th of November at the MK Dons Stadium in Milton Keynes. The other events I wanted to single out over and above what's listed on the page is our signature events. We have the XLA 25, which is a follow-on from XLA 24, taking place in the Imperial War Museum in Duxford on the 8th of July. We have an ITOR case study day at the in Gaydon at the Motor Museum on the 17th of September. We have a SIAM SM forum coming up in June, and the second of our face-to-face simulations at Newcastle United Football Club in July. This year so far, we have delivered a total of 26 events, a combination of online and in-person events. And then the next slide, Catherine, are you okay to move on, or can I move on? There we go, beautiful. Right, so the Service Design Community Hub. Some of you will have seen this already. For those who haven't, if you want to be part of the community hub as such, which is the page where we will store and upload slide presentations, event recordings, there's the community calendar is available for you to view. This is the place for you to meet. This is like the water fountain of an office environment. To get to this, if you log into your profile for those members, non-members, you can just go to the COP tab on the events page, click on the join a community, and an email will get fired off to me, which I will approve, pop you in, and then you will have access to this. And if you look under the My Profile tab, where Profile Home, Manage Profile Groups is where you will find the link on your profile. So this is once you've clicked on the groups, this is the image that you will see. If anybody has any questions or queries regarding access, please feel free to ping me a message later, and I'll gladly help you out as much as I can. Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Andrea. Not sure if Siobhan's frozen or on mute, but yeah.
I'm on mute. Apologies. So that is our launch, and that is what we wanted to share with you today, was our message around what we're doing, what we're hoping to achieve this year and the coming years, and and just to welcome you into the community, and and really look forward to you being part of it. This is now the time for questions. I do see a couple of questions on the chat. So I think one there for Andrea maybe. So non-members can also have access to the hub.
Let me just come off mute and come back on camera. The hub is for members only, unfortunately. However, if you're not a member and you want some information relating to membership, please feel free to reach out.
Okay. Could you please share the link? Yep, we can get that for you. That's not a problem. Are there any other questions? Will all the sessions be hosted online? So certainly the operational ones, absolutely. So those will be hosted online, and the events will be sent out by Andrea and the team at ITSMF UK. So you will be able to register for those events when they get published. The strategy ones, they will typically be in person with just a small portion of people able to join remotely. We probably won't record all of those sessions, but we can look into that if it is a requirement. But certainly the presentation slides, anything that gets discussed, will be published on the Community Hub. Will we be sharing these slides? Yes, we will. We'll put these on the Community Hub so you can gain access to them. Really good overview. Thank you. Thank you, Owen. Thank you, Bhavana. And Bhavana is our lovely host at for our strategy meetups. So thank you, Bhavana. How do I join the first cohort? So so what will happen is we will create the events and they will be shared. So for the strategy meetups and the operational meetups. For the strategy meetups, I should mention that we are capping it to a set amount of people. So it will be we're most of us are based down in London, so there will be 20 people in person, and then we're allowing only 5 people to join remotely, and that is on purpose because what I want to create is a very close community there, really focused on the strategic initiatives, and because otherwise it will become diluted if the group is so large. So absolutely welcome contributions. We will be sharing updates so people can still feed into those, but when we have the actual meetups, they will be arranged in smaller groups. However, operationally, as many as you like. So all of the ones that Katie will be hosting, we can have as many people in there as possible to engage, ask questions, even offer to present, which would be wonderful. But yeah, you can absolutely be part of that. Thank you. Okay, so lots of lovely comments. Thank you so much. Okay. Is there any other questions? I'm sure I saw a raised hand.
Yes,
Lynn.
it was just a suggestion really. I've done it with lots of other communities of practice, maybe doing a survey to understand maturity levels, and therefore then you can buddy people off, because that often helps as well. Just doing that. So maybe a suggestion there to sort of buddy people up with people that are just starting on the journey versus other sort of industries and organisations that are quite mature.
That's brilliant. Thank you, Lynn. Yeah, I love that. And that's so true, because obviously when you're joining a community, you don't know who's on the same par as you, really, do you? And you just want that contact. So no, that's a really good idea. Thank you. Katie and I can take that and have a look at how we do that and apply it. Yes, ITSM maturity assessments. Will the community forum also have a presence as a LinkedIn group, or will you allow collaboration capability? So at the minute, Ray, we are focused on just building it out through the ITSMF UK, but when the events are published, ITSMF UK also publish them on LinkedIn. So people will hear about the events through the LinkedIn social platforms and any other platforms that ITSMF UK use. So you'll hear it through LinkedIn plus the community hub. So you can always log on to their website and look up the events for service design, but all the other fantastic events that ITSMF UK offer. And and that's another real reason to become a member, because you can actually be part of a much wider discussion as well on all these amazing things that are also coming up throughout the year. So yeah, absolutely, you will see them in both those places. So Verma, your question there on how can I reach out to contribute for strategic white paper around service design. For that one, again, Andrea will publish the event so that you are able to register for that. As mentioned, it is capped at a maximum capacity of 25 in total. So it will be a first come, first served basis. Okay, did anybody else have any other questions? There's some great feedback on here. Thank you so much. It's really good to... Do you think we've missed anything? Do you think there's anything in there that you thought, oh, actually, I thought they were going to include this, or they would have mentioned this? Do you feel like we might have missed anything as part of this community of practice that you might like to see?
Sorry, me again. It's always quicker to talk than type.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody comes to these things to get ideas, to learn things. Absolutely, that's what we're here for, and the rest of us are here to support. And then sort of another area might be being able to get ISO 20000 accreditation. So again, what does that look like? Not just operationally, but what do I need to do in order to get that accreditation? Because I know more businesses are looking in that space as well at the moment.
Yeah, and actually, even just thinking about service design in general, you know, I've been asked so many times, you know, can you recommend any courses, service design courses that I can go on? And, you know, anybody looking at my LinkedIn profile will see that I've got a variety of things that I've done over the years that have all contributed in some shape or form towards my service design profession. And that's the art form I find with service design is, you know, you've got to go out there and research different parts, different elements of different things. In the ISOs, I've found some great, you know, valuable information in like the quality management. I think was that ISO 14,000. I'm going to have some ISO experts on here. I know there's a few. I think Tim might be one, Tim Hughes. But you know, there's so many amazing things like COBIT I use as well. I use bits of Agile, I use bits of Prince 2, and obviously ITIL. So you know, I think the accreditation piece is an excellent one too. That's it 9001. Thank you, Karen. Yeah, you know, there's some amazing things out there. So accreditation in general, I think, would be an amazing topic to cover.
Yeah, I just think, you know, obviously ITIL's all about adapt and adopt, whereas when you actually go for standards, that is what, you know, best practice and what good looks like. So I think sometimes it might be good for some people to look at what do we think good looks like, and make sure, and again, do a, you know, sort of assessment on how far away from that you are, because it obviously points out clearly where you have to be. So I think that gives people an aspiration to work towards.
Yeah, no, I love that. Thank you. Yep, agreed, Ray. That's it. Thanks, Tim. So do you see this group having representation with a mix of operational delivery and pre-sales consultancy community? Yeah, absolutely. And you know, even in the group that I have in strategic, and Katie, I'll let you answer it for your side, but certainly in the group I'm with, we have a mixture of people who do work in operations, and we've also got consultants in there who all bring a breadth of knowledge and experience. It's just absolutely fantastic, you know, being around some really, you know, brilliant individuals who can all bring something to the table. So yes, absolutely, we have a vast community of people coming from all different places, but still working in that service design space. Katie, did you have anything on your side?
No, it's absolutely the same. The operational element is completely open to everybody with that interest, and so far there is a real mixture of people that are in that, and yeah, definitely welcome to all.
I see another one here from Lisa. Can non-members join the operational community of practice? So you do need to be a member in order to join the events. But obviously, once you are a member, there are many free events available, and the service design ones will be part of that.
Thanks, Siobhan. I was thinking about my team. So Emma, my manager, is on this call. So Emma, did you hear that? They all need membership.
Yes, please, Emma.
Good plug.
Thanks, Siobhan.
No worries. Thank you, Lisa.
Unfortunately, because there are no, the system doesn't actually physically enable us to add non-members, because non-members technically don't have a profile on our database. So the system doesn't actually allow us to be able to add members to the community page as such. And for me, the benefit from being on that community page is massive, because you can catch up on all events, on conversations. There's an option to ask questions. So what I'll do is I've very quickly trying to scurry down everybody's names who's on this call. So what I'll do is I'll follow up with everybody with a copy of the slides, a feedback form where you can put in any feedback relating to today's event, or feedback relating to the community itself. We'll keep the feedback form open, non-ended, and also I will put a link in there. I see some of you have requested a link to join the community. I'll pop that in there as well. For member organizations, please feel free to share, because obviously the bigger the community, the better for us. And it validates the hard work that Catherine and Siobhan have put into creating this community. And any ideas or suggestions you can also stick in there as well. So I will follow up with all of you. So thank you.
Thank you. So I've just spotted a couple of other points that I'll probably just run past. So is it Brahim? Sorry if I've pronounced your name incorrectly, but you asked about what are the criteria to join which community. So just to clarify, for the operational community, it can be anybody, absolutely anybody who has an interest in service design or is working in service design. For the strategic community, we are requesting people who are at a leadership level, so director, heads or leaders of service design who have an extensive history in working in service design. And obviously the reason being for that is because they will be contributing to things like the white paper. So we do need people who have that experience, because we need their expertise to feed into those discussions and help shape the future of service design. So I hope that answers your question. And then there's a couple here from Ray and also Karen that I just really want to just touch upon as well, which is around the human-centered design, also customer service experience and product. So thinking about the human-centered design piece, the reason why I love service design is because I'm incredibly passionate about how it benefits people in general. And that is people who, from an employee experience, so the people who are actually delivering IT services. I really like to unpick and understand how they are delivering services to drive efficiencies, but also to be happy in their job. If as a service designer, if I can enable people and make them feel like they can bring their best selves to work every day, then I've done my job. If they are really fed up, frustrated, tired of cumbersome processes, delays on just trying to do their work, then I've failed. But those are the parts in design that I look to identify and help overcome those challenges. Equally, it's looking at the end user and customer experience as well. So for me, that is absolutely critical and the whole point of service design. It's not there to just document IT processes. So it's so important. So I just wanted to touch on that and just thank both of those and Rachel for mentioning that. Damon, so personally I think it will be or is very useful to see or hear what people think service design is. Yeah, so that will be in our white paper, Damon. So for me this can depend on the environment, customer requirements and strategic direction of the organisation. My preference is to look holistically, absolutely. You know, we need to look at it at a holistic viewpoint, and to know what service design actually is. So that's exactly what that white paper will be on, and having that holistic view and approach to service design. Yes, Anthony, yes. Enabling value for everyone, right? Share the love. Okay. So I don't think I've missed any. If I have, please shout and say, Siobhan, you've missed me. You didn't answer my question. Otherwise, we will look back through the chat, Andrea, Katie and I, to see if we have missed anything. Thank you, Jane.
I would like to add something to what you have said already.
Yes.
I think you mentioned a very important point at the beginning, so that all the other stakeholders and other organizations are seeing the service design as blockers, stopping them, doing only checks and so on. Would be excellent maybe to define what would be, let's say, KPIs from service design, how these can be measured to show really a value.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. That's a really good point. And actually, that's something that should probably be in the white paper as well. Thank you. Tim?
Yes, hi. Really, really good. This is a really good meeting, and it's great to see so many people really passionate about this, which I am as well. So that's fabulous. I just put a quick line in the chat back up here somewhere to say, as part of this hub that we've got within the ITSMF portal, and in line with I think the point somebody else made about have we made sure we've captured everything? Have we got everything that we're thinking of? Something I'm working on is just a quick mind map, which I'm putting together for my own purposes, but I don't mind sharing it to say, what does a service architect actually do? Because that's how I define it. And there's a similar mind map I found the other day on through LinkedIn actually, but it was about the responsibilities of a CISO or CISO, a Chief Information and Security Officer. So just using the same principles, dead easy. I can probably do it this afternoon actually. Don't hold me to that, anybody. But I will put a mind map together, stick it on the hub.
Thank you.
And then people can look at that and go, what about this? And what about, and you've forgotten this? And oh yeah, I agree with that. Just as a kind of a starter for start of a 10.
That's amazing. Thank you so much, Tim.
Brilliant.
Really
Thanks.
appreciate that. Andy?
Tim, that's a really good idea, and I've started working on something similar. I think my question is slightly different. Is what doesn't a service architect do?
Yeah, exactly, Andy. Exactly. And do you know what?
Good point.
It's a really good point. So and I don't know if Darren did join this community today because he said he would try and register in. But Andy, it's really interesting because we was talking about the scope. How far do you go with service design? You know, for me personally, I find as much as I love ITIL, I'm a big advocate for ITIL, but I find it quite restrictive. I feel like for me, when I just focus on those elements, it's not enough. It's not enough to really set the scene for an organisation and knowing how to deliver really good IT services. So I pull it out a bit more and I touch upon a whole range of things. But the question is if you're working from a consultant perspective, defining that scope is really, really important If you're working as in an operational role, it's also thinking about the scope as well. And, you know, should you be filling in the gaps that are missing? Personally, I would, because I feel that it's the right thing to do for our business, for our customers. But it's a really valid point. You know, what does a service architect not do? Great point to raise there. Probably a great debate as well, actually. I wouldn't mind having a debate call on that. That's a great one.
Can I just jump in again? It's only because I can't seem to be able to reply to anybody. Just to let you know, what we do in the land registry is we actually start service transition at the same time as service design as well, because that's as important, you know, testing and support models. So where they talk about product and customer experience and that lot, we actually start service transition at the same time as service design. Just to throw that in there, that's another way of making sure there are no gaps and you work in tandem.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, I don't know if Katie, if you wanted to add anything to this, because this is your role as well, isn't it?
Oh,
Service design
absolutely,
transition.
yeah. So at DWP, we're actually split out. So we do service design and then hand over to service transition so that they have a baseline set of requirements to work from. And that's my experience in kind of where I've reached with the rest of the network so far. But that's a really interesting stance on that, and definitely going to be hosting in the events timeline there. One of the first sessions I'll be hosting from the operational side is about that early engagement and the importance of certainly getting service design in really, really early doors and exploring that theme further. So yeah, definitely worth a bigger conversation later in the year for that one. Thank you.
Hi, it's Kim Lanham. Just to go back to what you were saying, Siobhan, really, which was I couldn't agree with you more in the passion that I think a lot of us feel, and then the demarcation of our roles. So when you're employed by an organisation, what is the demarcation of what we are supposed in sort of speech marks to do, and what is then a process writer's job or a something else writer's job or a somebody else's job, and there are so many gaps I think that we come across, and you can see the way to fill that, but do you? Don't you? And from the white paper perspective that you're talking about, I think that's like massively important. It's like, what is the role of a service architect from the mind map point of view? But equally, how far do we push those boundaries to make sure that we're giving the customers the service that we would expect as customers ourselves?
Yeah. And that for me, Kim, that feels like, you know, it's leaning almost towards that senior management buy-in then, isn't it? It's almost leaning into what does the operating model look like within the IT organisation, roles and responsibilities, but then leaning into this to the senior management to say, look, you know, I've recognised this gap, you know, obviously they will say yes, fulfill it, but then should you be doing that? How much work does that actually involve if you have to fulfill that gap? And are you potentially carrying another team or an individual? And so, you know,
that whole demarcation kind of query, isn't it? And but equally, I agree with you in the fact that, you know, we as service architects could be brought in lots of different environments at lots of different points much earlier. So if it's in product design, as an example, why aren't we being brought in at product design point of view, going through to operations? Why aren't we then involved in, you know, when we're talking to the customers at that point, you know? So when you're in with the customers, what is their expectations of us and how can we fulfill that? And that is your senior management buy-in. It's like service is just an add-on nice to have, where it really isn't, because if your service is broken, you've got no customer CSAT.
Exactly. Yeah.
So never going to get repeat business without good service, are you?
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know, at my company we have a product that we sell, and we will be promoting that at a future conference. And I really wanted to be on the stand with that team because they will be there selling our product. And I was like, please, can I be there from like a service management perspective? Because I really want to help support the team in talking to potential customers about our product, but looking at it from a, you know, how do you want to like use this product? How do you expect it to be supported? How, you know, how like, and one of the things as well that I feel that with product design is that we don't always share enough information on what the expectations will be from the customer side in terms of their roles, how they get engaged, what their responsibilities are to make that product be of value to them. So, you know, I totally agree. You know, from a design perspective, we need to be there in those conversations as well from the beginning.
I agree. Couldn't agree with you more. Kindred spirits by the sounds
Yeah.
of it. But you know, you look at some of the organisations that are getting really good feedback now, the energy companies, etc. And why are they getting such good feedback? Well, because they're so easy to get in contact with, because they're so easy to deal with, and because you know, and so we all need to be looking at lessons learned from those, I think.
Absolutely. And they are the analogies that I use. You know, I say to people, you know, when you click on the Thames Water website and you click on contact me, or, you know, I've got a problem, you know, there's usually 2-3 icons on the screen. That's it.
Exactly.
Why do we have a service catalogue with over 300 line items?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Yeah, agreed. And we make it more and more complicated, don't we? Which is not good for our customers.
Yeah. But then you're in the danger of encroaching into other areas then, aren't you, of your operations team? So
anyway,
yeah.
I'm going to shut up now.
Yeah. We can't do it all. Okay, brilliant. Thank you, Kim. So just reading some of these comments on here. User experience. Yeah, I like that, Ritu. That's really good. We create transitions from the design packages. So Anthony has put a comment on here about how they create transitions in the form of release packages from the design packages automated within our ITSM platform. So Anthony is going to be one of our future presenters. I would absolutely join that one. That's going to be very interesting. And Anthony will be talking more about that, how they've embedded the service design process into their ITSM tools. But I'm not going to give anything else away, so look out for that one. UX design is really coming out strong here. So Andy,
yeah, sorry, I was just thinking I'm probably going to end up making that a bit of a theme. I'm getting loads of ideas from just this initial chat about what sort of stuff we can discuss at an operational level, because it certainly seems like everybody's got loads of ideas, and yeah, common themes are really coming through strong, aren't they?
Absolutely. So this one here as well from Andy, you know, consider doing SLAs differently through XLAs. Yeah, I really like the XLA space. I do a lot of that when I'm doing my user journey mapping and design blueprints. I identify the pinpoint areas of where we can apply XLAs. So yeah, I really like that point there. Anthony, you've got your hand up.
Well, you mentioned me, so I thought I better open my big yap. So yeah, so the tool that we use, we embed all our design stuff in there. it underpins our process, and it's data driven then, and we found that really it was Word documents and spreadsheets and all that kind of stuff, but putting it into a tool is really enabled. So I'm happy to come and show some of the bits and pieces that we've done. It's not perfect, and the process is still not perfect, and it's maturing and all that kind of stuff, but actually having data at your hands then shows the value to management. And we're starting to show not only the good things that are happening, but the gaps that we're identifying as well. We link it to all kinds of different bits and pieces, and the design into the release stuff is, or into the transition stuff is just one aspect of that. There's lots and lots there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, it's going to be really interesting. I can't wait to join that one. Okay. So I think again, if I've missed anybody, please let me know. Oh, Ritu, you've said it. You said the AI buzzword. Do we go down that road? How it's going to change the vision of service design. Well, I mean, I could spend a whole session talking about AI and automation, but maybe we'll add that into Katie's list of presentations. I mean, if you're coming along to the ITSMF conference this year, and hopefully many of you will be, I will be giving a presentation on AI in knowledge management. But how I will be presenting that is like a service design approach. But it is all about AI and automation. So if you are coming to the conference this year, then please come and join me, and let's have those conversations in that room, because I actually love AI and the automation side and how we apply that in designing our services. So yeah, brilliant. Okay. Oh, I've got some new messages. Sorry. Oh, need to drop off. Thank you, Anthony. How to register for the conference? Wow. Andrea, would you like to answer that one?
Yeah, please reach out to me. I will be sharing my contact details in a follow-up email. Please feel free to reach out to me and I can help you with that.
So Pedro's put a comment on here. I'd love to listen about service design strategy ops for small companies where roles and responsibilities are often overlapping between individuals. Yeah, I mean, Pedro, it's such a valid point. I've worked in a number of organizations where I've also seen this, and some of it I agree with, some of it I don't. I have my views on wearing too many hats, especially when you're working in service design, because otherwise you risk marking your own homework, and that's not a good thing. I've worked in organizations as a consultant where I've seen people wear those different hats, and it's very contradictory because they end up having a real strong say in how things should be implemented, as well as doing the design. So it's kind of like, right, so you've done the design and then you've made the decision that it's correct and it should go in. Where is the approval stage gate in that process for somebody else to come in and challenge that design and say, actually, that doesn't work? So I've seen a lot of people fall foul of that, and that's really not good. So, I think being really careful about it. I understand that it is even in a small company where there won't be as many people, but it's thinking about the role of service design and what it's doing. So where are the stage gates? Who should be reviewing those designs and signing them off? Okay, I think people are starting to drop, and we are just a couple of minutes from the top of the hour. So I just want to say a huge thank you. I mean, you know, we've still got 70 people still on the call, and I know some people have had to drop a wee bit earlier, but incredible. Thank you so much for your contributions and questions and conversations. It's been wonderful.